Welcome to the BLE Breakdown. This is your host, Danny Peña, podcast of Hall of Famer. Thank you so much, everyone, for the support, for all the reactions. We've been checking it out online ever since we made the announcement about our debut game from Brassline Entertainment, Wu-Tang, Rise of the Deceiver. It's been amazing seeing the comments and the reactions from everybody, man. But we're going to continue with the conversation. On this first episode of the BLE Breakdown, I sat down with the founders of Brassline Entertainment, and that's the CEO, Bryna Dabby Smith, and also the CCO, Rashad Redic. And we had a great conversation, not only about the game, but also about the team that been working on this project now for the past couple of years. And also some fun topics that we talked about: hip-hop, our first Wu show, also our first Wu-Tang song that we heard back in the days. And also we talked about the culture overall. It's a great conversation, and I think you guys are going to love it. Go to Epic Game Store or Steam and wishlist this game. It only takes a couple seconds. If you take your time right now, subscribe to this channel. There's going to be more content in the future, so stay tuned. All right, so we're going to play now an interview with Bryna and Rashad from Brassline Entertainment, and we'll be back until next time. Enjoy the interview. All right, so today we have Brassline Entertainment, the co-founders. Here we have Rashad. Rashad, how you doing?
I'm good.
And also Bryna.
Good morning.
So we made history a couple days ago.
We finally announced the game that we've been working on for what feels like a long time now. Wu-Tang Rise of the Deceiver.
Yeah, it's been a moment that's been a long time coming, but we're here now. So
yeah. Now people are going to be asking why you guys are the perfect studio to work on this project.
Rashad?
I think just the core DNA of who we are is very unique in the industry. We have representation at every level, from the top, all the way, through. And I think that cultural spine really influences the type of conversations we have, the type of decisions that are made about the game. And, it all gets kind of wrapped up and presented in something that feels really unique and authentic. And the collaboration, it's a wholly unique thing in games, and you'd be hard pressed to find anything else that's kind of a similar thing.
This is the perfect combination too, because you worked on hip-hop games back in the days, right?
As a baby.
See,
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
My point.
And also you worked on a lot of big projects, RPG projects, right? So combining both, why this was important for you guys to combine and create an action RPG?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I'm a hip hop fan for life. It's, it's my childhood. It's the music of every day for me, and I think for a lot of our team as well. So we have a lot of people who have been Wu-Tang fans for a large part of their lives, and for them, this is something that is personal and important, and we get to carry on their legacy and do something that really honors the lore that they've built for themselves. For me, I'm not the creative, I'm the business side. So I love watching things come together. I, will play any different type of game. I only can invest so many hours at this point in life, but I will play anything that is of interest to me. I think this is the right genre for the group. It's the right genre for our team to make, and it's something that's exciting.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk more to the press and the fans. I know people are going to get super excited about this, but now, why this is the right time to announce this game? I know the last time there was a Wu-Tang game, it was over 20 years ago. I think it was 1999 for PlayStation 1. So why this was the right time to announce it for the studio?
I mean, besides him being on tour.
That is true. It's the final tour.
Yeah.
The final chamber.
Final chamber.
Yeah.
I just think, if you go back 20 years to the first game and then you come now, there's just been a continuous legacy, that they have built, and it's, I don't even know really where to begin because there's so much material to work with. And so, a lot of people say, why now? And I always am kind of why not?
Yeah. We've been dying to talk about this game. We've been building it slowly over time. We built the studio and the team, and we are so excited to finally get to talk about it. The way that it came about in the first place was because Ghostface had a film that's been in development called Angel of Dust, and they brought the script to us and said, you know, they wanted to make a game. We've come up with what is sort of a companion piece to that, because there were parts of that script that were really interesting from an interactive perspective that really made a lot of sense for us. And there's a lot of that sort of world that we've leaned into. So getting a chance to pull together sort of the supernatural element that they're building with the history of the group and the legacy that they've got, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity.
Is this game going to focus more on the first album, or there's going to be new tracks? Is it going to be a mix of both? Like what?
All of the above.
All the above.
All of the above.
And now how hard it is, because their catalog is
Deep.
Is deep, very, very deep. How's that going to work for you guys? Like, to select the right tracks for this? Is it more because of the story that connects with the music, or how's that going to work? And I know Just Blaze is working on this, right?
Yes, he is. Yeah, there's some songs that you know, the first album, End of the 36 Chambers, people want to hear certain things. There are things that we absolutely have to put in because people love it and know those songs. There's also some deep cuts that they might not be expecting that are kind of a surprise. And then, you know, stay tuned as far as new material. But Just Blaze is our director of music and culture. He's taken a really unique approach to the way that he's working with the music. So our incredible audio team, led by Caleb Epps, who's our audio director, has made a fully dynamic music system. Just has taken the songs, broken them down into stems, and made them interactive. And then they actually work with your gameplay, so they're reacting to what you're doing. And on top of that, he's done remixes of those songs and added layers to them to really amp up the experience. And there's even parts of the game where he's built sort of an orchestral song that actually samples the original material, because people want to hear those songs, but they also want to hear things that are fresh and new and hear them in a different way. So we're really giving that to them.
I like this. You know, I've been watching the teaser multiple times, by the way. And there's some Easter eggs there that I'm like, okay, if you're a hip hop fan,
so that's the thing, right?
Yeah.
Because so like, speaking about it creatively is, you know, I have a really deep and personal connection to a lot of the themes in the songs, right? Like, I'm from the West Coast, they're from the East Coast, so it looks different, but, you know, it feels the same in terms of like the experience. And so it's been really fun to sort of like pick apart the visual or interpretation of these things so that we can like take the player on, you know, a journey that is unique in how it presents itself. Just because the subject matter doesn't really get used this way in games very much at all.
I know people have seen the teaser, sorry, and they might think that this is the main character of the game, but the main character is the person who's actually playing this game. What you can tell us about that, about creating the character and everything. Yeah,
like, you know, we're all hip hop heads, right? Yeah. Like, you know, it was one of the things that's most important about hip hop, like its self-expression. And so, you know, we really wanted to find a balance between letting the players express themselves and then also feel like they're taking a part of this journey with this like mythical, legendary group and how all of that stuff blends together. And so it was kind of like organically easy decision to make to allow the player like, you know, this like avatar fashion and style, you know, and then also like it's the Wu-Tang Clan. So, you know, easy.
So tell us a little bit about the writers that's working on this and the story. 'Cause I know they're very, very talented. They worked on a lot of big projects too before. So you can tell us about them.
So our narrative director is Clay Carmouche, who we absolutely love. Clay comes to us he's worked on at Xbox for quite some time. So he worked on Halo and a bunch of other incredible games over there. He's a phenomenal writer. And Evan Narcissus is our senior writer. Evan has written a ton of different stuff. He wrote for Spider-Man, the Miles Morales game. He worked on Rise of the Black Panther for Marvel. His credits are long and doing a fantastic job of helping to bring those characters to life.
Now, in the teaser, it says presented by Ghostface. Is this a Ghostface project?
Yes.
Is the whole members of the Wu are involved too, or RZA?
Yes, and yes, and yes.
Okay.
This is very much a Ghostface project. This is his baby. This is under the umbrella of this IP that he's been building called Angel of Dust, which, as we mentioned, has a movie component, and stay tuned. But he brought it to our agents at CAA, who then said, we have the team for you. They realized that Just was involved, and then they started talking creative, and it was a match made in heaven. There is no other team that could build this game this way. Ghost is the creative lead on their side, so he's the most involved. But for us, it's really important that all the guys see and love what we're doing as we go, that they understand how they're represented, and that they feel good about it, because this is their legacy that we're representing.
Is this published by Breastline? Do you guys have partners? 'Cause I know people are going to be asking that question. Like,
Stay
can you
tuned.
talk about that? Okay, stay tuned. Stay tuned. What do you think was like the hardest part working on this project for you guys?
We're not done yet. We have so much left to go.
That's true. Very
Isn't
true.
it just kind of always hard until it's over?
Yeah. Yeah, games are hard. Rashad and I both started at different parts of this industry, but each 25 years ago. And it doesn't get easier with time. The problems and the challenges just get different, I think. So getting it, the first part is we managed to start something new and get this game made at a time when that's difficult to do. And then we built a team in a studio from scratch. So it's taken us some time. But the creative problems, I think, are the fun ones, right?
Fun, creative problems. That's a sentence.
They seem fun from here.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess there's always the puzzle of authenticity and fun and how all that stuff fits together. And so you're always like trying, first and foremost, like we're just making a good game, right?
Yeah.
Like no matter what, it is just a good game. You can sit down and play it and not know anything about the group and be like, this is fun. Yes. And so you want to take that, and you want to be respectful of the source material, while also adding in something new. And that sort of like dance is always a little bit difficult to like find the balance, but I think we do. And so it goes.
I know the studio is over 53 people, and it's been
That's right.
100% remote. How's that been for the team, just working remotely from
Remember when
home?
we said it's hard?
It is very hard. It is very
It is
hard. It's still new for the industry and people working remote,
Yeah.
so like how's that been the process for?
It's challenging because I think the reason that it's challenging is because our team likes each other so much. And so you want to spend time together and connect and find ways to collaborate as efficiently as possible. But being remote, and we're across the US and Canada, being remote has allowed us to really build the team the right way and to find the best people. And over time, we kind of grew in hubs. So we have a few outliers, but we really kind of have people growing in specific cities. So they're able to connect in smaller groups at times. And then what we try and do is, so far, almost every year we've managed to get the whole team together for an offsite and let them actually spend time all together in person, which is more challenging as the team is bigger, but that's what we hope to continue to be able to do.
Yeah, I know people are going to be asking like, what's next now for Breastline? How long are we going to wait? Is it something we're going to wait a very, very long time, or what? I mean, people are going to get super excited, once they get to see the trailer. They're going to be rewinding that trailer, the teaser multiple times, So what's next for BLE now?
This has just been our moment to be able to say, yes, it's real, and we're here. Please stay tuned. More is coming. We have so much more to say and so much more to show, but we want to really focus on working on it and getting it to the place it needs to go before we come back out and say more about it. So we're not going to give you a release date yet, but we will. Stay tuned. It's not going to be forever, but we do have some time left. We have some things left to do.
Do you remember the first track you listened to Wu-Tang back then? Your first track for you?
Yeah. So that's funny that you asked that. Like I said, like I'm on the West Coast, right? That album, I believe, came out in 93.
93.
The Chronic came out in 92. So on the West Coast, it was still the Chronic because I think Doggy Style came after that. So it's like the prime death row era.
Right.
So for that album to break through on the West Coast because of how unique it was,
right,
was it just sort of spoke to how powerful the sound was and how unique the look was in a style. And so I remember playing the album at a friend's house, and kind of everyone was like, "What is this?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I still remember mine too.
Yeah.
But go ahead. Yeah.
No, and so it was like it just sort of like took hold in a place where a lot of East Coast stuff wasn't taking hold, and that's how powerful it was.
Yeah. Yeah.
I grew up in Vancouver, Canada. Shout out to Vancouver, on the west coast of Canada, and pre-internet. So we found music by discovering it. We had to share things. People would go, anytime someone left Vancouver and went to another major city, if they went to LA or New York or anywhere else, they would record the radio for as long as they could and bring it back so we could hear it. So for us, we almost never heard a song on its own. You would hear an album that somebody brought, unless it was, you know, coming off a radio play. So I remember hearing the album because it was, you know, somebody would buy it, your friends would play it, and then you get to hear it. But it was kind of the same thing, because I was also on the West Coast. So there were all these, we always as teenagers would debate about East Coast versus West Coast rap, but Wu-Tang was universal.
Yeah. I remember my cousin came down from New York. He had a vinyl. He's like, man, this is a new group.
Yep.
Check it out. They have a new song called Protect Your Neck. I'm like, Protect Your Neck? And I heard it for the first time. I'm like, wow, my mind was blown.
It.
That was like amazing, man. So
yeah.
Do you remember your first Wu-Tang show that you got to see in person? I don't know if it was on the West Coast for you guys.
Yeah.
Or was it the East Coast thing?
It was 2 years ago. Yeah, the first time. I mean, I'm trying to think, because I've been to a lot of shows. I've definitely seen individual members. I've seen Ghost and I've seen Ray. But the first time getting to see them together was 2023. And it was amazing. It's their last world tour. So for anyone out there, if you have not seen them, go catch this tour, because it's your last chance.
And you also check out the teaser. It will be playable at the final
stage.
Chamber tour.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
And for you?
It was actually the same. Yeah, I remember. Actually, I saw RZA.
Yeah.
RZA.
Yeah,
Okay.
but I think it was like a Bobby Digital thing.
Yeah.
Very cool.
You know, my first one, it was ODB, and it was like in the early
no,
90s,
that's
maybe
wild.
94.
Wow.
You know, I still have that flyer.
Do you?
Still to this day, I have that flyer. And second one was Method Man.
You're like
too.
you're like a human archive. That's amazing.
It is important. I think it is important to
see
show
Method
that.
Man too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like it's important to show that to an audience that have never experienced that before. You
Yeah.
know, that's why I always keep those special moments, you know, from back then. You know, but
Very cool.
I also was going to ask you guys. I have this shirt on, and it
Best shirt.
says, beautiful shirt, by the way, brass line. It says, all culture, no vulture. Why is that? Why the slang?
Look at me. That's why it says that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, for people that don't know,
Yeah.
why? Why all culture, no vulture?
Because for us, the team at Brass Lion, you know, we come from a variety of backgrounds and experiences, but universally we show up as ourselves. And we bring those experiences to bear on what we're building together. And for us, being authentic and being ourselves and actually just showing up that way is really important. So, all culture, no vulture.
There you go. Now, this is a pretty good one, too. So, like, there's been a lot of games in the past that came out, hip-hop, you know. There's the original Wu game.
Yep.
I know there's a couple other ones, Def Jam. 50 had a game, too.
Yes, it did.
What makes this game different than those games that came out, like, in the past? For you and the team?
I don't think you can just measure us against other hip hop games. I think our game is different, period.
Yeah, like it's I like to say like it's a music forward experience game. So even if you go back to the 50 Cent game, they were protagonists in something that didn't really have anything to do with the music. If you look at other like things that are, you know, like Rock Band and Guitar Hero and stuff like that, like they're all rhythm based.
Right.
Like the way that we're using the music in the game isn't like any of that.
It's true.
Like it is a very like interactive experience based on the minute to minute of how the player is playing the game, and the music is getting mixed in real time to like what the player is doing. So all the stuff you're familiar with has slight little nuances to how it's being presented to the player. So there's always something new for the ear going on every time.
Yeah. It's really a love letter to hip hop too, right? Because as Rashad mentioned, you don't have to be a Wu-Tang fan to play this game. It's just a good game. But for the fans, there's extra special stuff in there for you. There's, little Easter eggs. There's stuff that's going to speak to you. There's going to be references that you'll get. They'll make it feel special. So it's really built into the DNA of the game. It's not layered on top. It's not just a soundtrack. It is really what we're building. It's core to the experience.
And plus, if you're into action RPG games, it's like the perfect one too, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. Now, people would like to know some of the projects that you worked on.
Yeah.
You would like to talk about that?
Sure. It's been a long life. So I started in the games industry in '99, just to date myself, working at EA Sports in Vancouver in a really junior production role, working on sports titles. I worked on Def Jam Vendetta, NHL, NBA, a bunch of stuff. It's been a long time. And then after that, I worked on The Bourne Conspiracy at High Moon Studios. And then came after that, Sleeping Dogs, at United Front Games.
Classic. But
it was a great game.
yeah.
And Connected Ventures from Microsoft. It's been a very long time. Some mobile titles.
And for you?
Yeah, like how far back we go.
I mean, whatever you want. It's up to you, man. It's up to you.
Yeah, I started at EA. Like a fun thing, and I always forget myself, has actually worked on the first Battlefield game.
Oh my God.
Wow.
I didn't know that.
I
had no idea.
Amazing.
Yeah, and I went over to an indie studio in the Bay Area, and I worked on The Godfather and Tony Hawk and a couple of other things. Then I went over to Bethesda, where I worked on Fallout 3, Fallout 4, Skyrim.
Well, small titles.
Yeah, a couple of small ones, yeah.
And then I worked on Crisis 3 and Rise, and a couple of other things, in between. So, I've been around the world a little bit.
Doing your thing.
Yeah.
For those who are watching, why they should support this game?
Why what?
Why they should support this game once it comes out?
I mean, if you love anime and you love hip hop and you love just fun games, this is 3 vectors of come play this game.
Absolutely. And also because we're doing something that for us feels very personal and very important. There's a lot of love and a lot of heart poured into this game. There's a lot of opportunity for representation for people who may not have seen themselves in games before. And we're really trying to take the biggest hip hop group of all time and put them in a world that is designed and created for them, that is worthy of their legacy and their history.
Yeah. In the teaser says find the Wu.
Yeah.
Are we gonna get to see ODB in this or what? I know people are gonna
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Okay. All right. Just want to say that real quick. I know people are gonna. Why didn't you ask that question? Just asked it. So, I just want to say, Rashad, Bryna, this has been a dream project for me.
Thank you.
Thank you for letting me and also Rihanna be part of this project. I can't wait for what's next.
I gotta say a couple of things first.
Yeah. Go ahead.
When we started this company, being able to work with people like y'all is exactly why we started this company. So
100%.
Thank y'all for
thank you.
Showing up right on time.
Always.
And also, our internal team is 53 people. It's been a long journey to get here. There are people who have been part of this journey who are not on the team anymore, who are still part of the DNA of this project. And I want to call that out as well. And also, we have external partners that we've been working with who have augmented our team and allowed us to, play up a little bit, because we would not be able to do all this without those partners as well. So shout out to all of them.
Yeah, and shout out to everybody that have been supporting us through Steam and Epic Game Store. Go
Wishlist
right
this
now.
game.
Right
Wishlist
now.
this game.
Definitely. And also for more information about the game, where they should go.
riseofthedeceiver.com or brasslineentertainment.com. You can go to either one of those websites, or you can go check out the store pages.
Awesome. Well, thanks for the interview.
Thank you,
I have
Dan.
one more question for you.
Oh,
For both of you.
both.
What was your first hip hop show ever?
First hip hop
First
show.
hip hop show ever.
It was Karis One.
Karis One.
I think this was when
On which album?
Return of the Boom Bap, I think it was.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, but I have a crazy story about that too. So, not that show, but later, he was releasing. What was the name of that track? Step Into My World.
Oh, yeah.
Step Into the World, right? Yeah. So I went to that event, that show in Miami, and at that time, there was no smartphones or anything like that. So I remember I had a video camera with me, and I went into the show. They never checked my camera out also. I'm like, all right. So I started recording. And once I was recording, in the middle of the performance, Charisma was like, "You with the camera, everybody stop the music." And I'm like, oh my God, I'm screwed. So he goes, "You with the camera, come on stage." I'm like, oh my God, in front of like a sold out crowd. And he looked at me, he's like, "This is hip hop history. I want you to record the crowd.
Wow.
Everybody say hello to the camera." I'm like, what? My mind was blown.
That's amazing.
Still
dope.
got that tape.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Dope.
Shout out to Chris. Yeah.
So I grew up in Vancouver again. First of all, a lot of artists did not come to us. So what is technically my very first hip hop show was actually very pop, but still very hip hop, was MC Hammer when I was 13.
Oh my God. Yeah.
My second hip hop show was supposed to be Big Daddy Kane, and we all had tickets for it. We were so hyped to go see him, and he canceled the show. And I still remember because it was upsetting to my entire teenage friend group.
They canceled the show.
Cancel the show.
Well, that's not your first hip hop show then.
I know, that was supposed to be my second. That's what I'm excited about. I feel like I need a little more credibility. MC Hammer, don't get me wrong,
Hey.
a lot of credibility.
Hey.
Yeah.
And that was a phenomenal show.
Oh, I could.
It was a
Well, it's a
phenomenal
Hammer
show.
So it was going to be.
Hammer's always gonna go
Amazing.
loud.
Yeah, it was a stadium show, and he had that stage packed. Like, the dancers were amazing.
Dope.
Yeah. For me, it was, and I remember this still very clearly for some reason. I'm not sure why, but it was Run DMC,
Wow.
Roxanne Shante, and Rappin' Duke in West
Wow.
Oakland.
Oh my God.
And I remember it because I had never seen speakers that big before.
Yeah.
They're as tall as the set. And I'm probably still deaf to this day because of that show.
Yeah.
But it was amazing.
I also got to see Run DMC when Jam Master Jay was still alive, which was very cool.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
You know what? If you go on YouTube and just search MTV Hip Hop Week, there's one that Jam Master Jay was DJing, and I was in the crowd. So I remember
Wow.
seeing him. That was the first time I saw him live. Yeah, so rest in peace.
I can tell you my favorite hip hop show of all time, although there have been some pretty amazing ones. I've gotten to see Jay-Z. I've gotten to see a lot of incredible shows. But for my 40th birthday, my husband got The Far Side and CL Smooth to perform. And that was my favorite because it was like part of the hip hop soundtrack of my life in person.
That's dope. See, we could spend here like 2 hours just talking about, 90s hip hop.
Like, I'll tell you a fun thing. I was in Germany one time,
Yeah.
and I saw J. Rue the Damaged, SIX, in a tiny...
In Germany.
in Germany,
Wow.
in some tiny town with a population of like 1,500.
Amazing.
And they sold out like the whole thing.
Wow.
And everybody knew every word,
Right.
even though, it's Germany.
Hip hop is
You know?
worldwide.
Yeah, it is, but that was amazing to me. And then the bonus was that because I was black, everybody just thought I was a part of the crew. So I was able to just wander around in there. So I was like, all right, I'm just going to go in here because you have a part of the crew. So
Now, one last thing I want to ask. I know there's going to be people that, upcoming developers, maybe they want to be part of a project like this.
Yeah.
What advice would you give them for those like upcoming people that want to get into like the industry?
Yeah.
And,
So I would say, first of all, if you want to get in the industry, research, talk to people, find out all of the different types of studios, types of roles, make sure that you're doing, I think Rashad and I have very similar advice for students, which is major in one thing and minor in something else, because you need more than one set of skills, but you also need to really specialize to understand what you're doing, and then you can build from there. For people who want to actually start a studio, it is a tough road.
might want to wait a few years.
Yeah. It's really tough out there right now, especially. I think it's a really hard time for new studios and new games. But one of the things that I've seen have a lot of success is when people really just get a bunch of passionate people together and try and create something that they really care about and do it in the least risky way possible for the moment. But once you start to have something great and you start to build some momentum, then you can build on it.
and create a buzz. That's what I see.
Exactly.
Create a buzz, and
Yeah.
you will get a lot of attention. So
You have to go outside, whether you want to or not. You got to go outside.
You have to. Yeah, definitely. All right, Rashad, Bryna, we could be here for a very long time, but it was a great conversation.
Thank you, Danny.
Can't wait to see what's next. All right.
Thank you.
Until next time.